Don't you dare.
Good, because I don't talk anyways, because someone else monopolized.
Miss Getty will not be here, and I don't believe Brendan will be here either. Mears. He was at last meeting, and he told us he was going to be here next month instead.
Okay.
So I believe that's a plan unless he shows up.
Very good. Where's Brandon? He's not gonna be here. You just said that. God, wake me up.
Have you had any sleep today?
Ask me about all weekend.
Oh, okay.
It's been a hard day.
I thought you were joking. I was waiting for you to like.
No, I just had to process. I'm present immediately now.
Yeah, 5 seconds. No. Oh, yeah, go ahead. Time, yeah.
I'd like to call to order the Village of Middleville Council meeting. May I please have a roll call? Kim?
Kevin Smith,
Here.
Robert Bishop,
Here.
Tracy Gillespie,
Here.
Richard Hamilton,
Here.
John Osterbaum,
Here.
Mackenzie Peters, Ann Williams.
Here.
I would like to make a motion to excuse Mackenzie Peters.
Support.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes. All right, could everyone stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the agenda.
Support.
We have a motion with support. All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion passes.
I will make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Support.
We have a motion with support to approve the consent agenda. Kim, for the approval of the minutes of the regular meeting for February 11th, 2025, and approval of bills as of February 19th, 2025 for $376,500.22. Kim, may I please have a roll call?
Richard Hamilton,
Aye.
John Osterbaum,
Aye.
Mackenzie Peters, Ann Williams,
Aye.
Robert Bishop,
Aye.
Tracy Gillespie,
Aye.
Kevin Smith.
Aye. I'd like to open the floor to public comment. Having none, we will move on to reserve time, which we will skip right down to recognition for Kim Jackham for her service in the Downtown Development Authority.
You got a certificate there, Mr. President.
So it is with great appreciation, and I know I speak on behalf of this board and the DDA board and this community to recognize Kim for all of her selfless servitude to this community. She's a fighter when she needs to fight, and she is a servant when she needs to serve. And during the DDA meeting, it was pretty surprising when she posted her resignation, but there is no one that I know that has truly served this community with as much fervor as Kim, and she will be sorely missed. And we would like to present this certificate of appreciation.
You want to do it?
Sure.
Come on up, Kim.
I don't know.
You want to open that up, Kevin?
Yeah, you want.
There you go.
As you know, this has always been my feel-good job. I had my paying job on Grand Rapids Street, and this was my feel-good job. And it's been a privilege and an honor to serve this community, and in some way, I will continue to serve, just not any committees right now. So thank you for this recognition. I'm truly honored.
It's our
Thank you,
pleasure.
Kim.
Thank you. Okay. We have looks like we have a series of permits. So we're going to start with Campus Life for the live music and talent show. If you don't mind, just state your name.
Andrew Keist from Middleville Campus Life. So we have had a middle school Campus Life program for the past 3 years at Thornton Apple Middle School. And we started a Campus Life program at the high school for this year. So we're excited to serve all the students, middle school and high school in our community. And we thought that a good way to end our school year would to just have like a community Campus Life club event. And so we are asking to be able to use the amphitheater on May the 31st, just to basically have a Campus Life party for the community, for our students, for their families, to see what their kids participate in at school, a series of games, some live worship music, a message, and just a nice time for the families to come together in our community.
Were you just planning on doing that all under the pavilion, or did you want to use the band shell?
So I think we were just going to use kind of like the amphitheater area.
Oh, just the amphitheater. Yeah, boy, I'll show up soon. I apologize. Okay, very good. Well, they have you have your insurance covered. Open for any discussion? All right, well, I make a motion to approve the event permit for Campus Life.
Support.
All right, we have a motion with support. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? You've got it.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Scrolling down, looks like we have Karen Miedema.
Thanks for having me. I'm one of the teachers at Epic Academy, which is a one-day-a-week homeschool program that meets at Caledonia Christian Reformed Church. We have an annual global 6K. We've done a few years in the past on the Middleville Trail, and on the 14th of May, which is a Wednesday evening at 6 o'clock, we'll have about 75 students that are moving their feet down the trail for a 3K and then moving their feet back. They'll be wearing bright orange t-shirts. Some of them may be carrying water jugs. It's all an effort to raise money for clean water through World Vision. So it'll take about 2 hours or so on the trail, a little bit of prep time on the front end and also on the tail end. And we'll have probably some signs along the way. We'll take them all down, bring out garbage cans and take those down too. But we'd love to be able to use the trail on that evening. We'll gather at the pavilion, and that'll be the only space that we use. And then we'll clear out all of our stuff afterwards.
Excellent. Open for discussion? I think we've got it. All those in favor for approving?
Need a motion in a second, Mr. President.
Very good.
I'll make a motion to approve the event for Karen.
Or we have a motion with support finally. I'll be here all week. All right, we have a motion with support. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? All right, motion passes.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next is left field.
Good evening, Council. Nice to see you all again. My name is Johnny DeMag with Left Field Coffee. Here before you today just to ask approval for our annual 5K. Normally we hold it in the fall, but with the High Street reconstruction, push it to the spring. And if the weather's as nice as it is today, it'll be a great event. I ran it twice over this afternoon. So great course. We normally have up to 100 or so people. We close off Main Street. It's a 8 a.m. race on Saturday just for 10 minutes, get everyone onto the sidewalk right around the pavilion, and then Normally cars are going back through there by 8:10. So not closed off for super long, but it's a great event. We have a lot of people come and hang out downtown afterwards. So yeah, same sort of, we clean up all the things. We do a sweep of the trail and make sure everything's been picked up afterwards. So yeah, this will be our 5th event, 4th one here in Middleville. So if you have any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them.
I have one, Mr. President. Did you clear up the insurance? I noticed that there was a note by Rhonda.
Yeah, yep. So we use American Specialty Express. We have to have sort of an exact plus or minus like 1 or 2 racers with them. So we've used them in the past. We just have to renew it right before the race. We can't quite do that yet because we get people adding up until real close to the race. But once we have that, we'll send it in. I can send in a previous copy in the meantime if that helps.
My only question would be, I know we had Sergeant Ware here last time we did this. There was just a tiny bit of concern about the Crane Road leg of how that's going to get managed.
Yep.
How did you resolve that?
We have 2 volunteers, one at the trailhead there and then one at that access road by the storage way. So there's 2 volunteers there with high vis vests. So they're directing people. We have cones along the shoulder of the road as well. So, and we keep people off of Grand Rapids Street. They're on the sidewalks on Grand Rapids Street too. Course is fully marked, either with sidewalk chalk, cones, tape, signs. So yeah, we keep people on Crane Road for very briefly and keep them totally off of Grand Rapids Street.
I mean, I just think in order to make sure that this is balanced, I would really just like to get approval from Sergeant Ware. And I think Alec was brought in on this with regard to closing off.
Yeah, I think they're on board with it. We'll make sure that we touch base with them ahead of time, and we'll make sure we get the updated insurance as well. So if you want to approve something subject to those conditions, we can do that.
Sure.
Sidewalk chalk. Check with Alec to make sure you get the right stuff too, because there's like permanent stuff and stuff that washes away easily. And I know we've had problems with that in the past.
Cool. Normally I've used Cradle on the washable stuff, but we'll double check.
Yeah.
So thanks for that.
I just remember it coming up. I don't know.
Oh, totally.
No.
There was an issue before.
Yeah,
There was.
Yeah.
That's a good point. All right. Well, I think I'll just for clarity, I'll make a motion pending Sergeant Ware, Alec, and an insurance binder to approve the left field 5K run.
Or
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? All right, motion passes.
Wonderful.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Johnny.
Council. And just briefly while I'm up here, now that the weather sort of turned for the nice, we should hopefully see some nice paint and mural work up on High Street this spring. So keep an eye out up there because it'll start to have some fun visual changes. So just wanted to give you a brief update and keep you guys in the know. So
Thanks, Johnny.
Cool.
Appreciate you. All right. Mr. Powers.
Good evening, Council. So before you see a petition for the farmer's market, I'd like to make one note that the application was submitted for May 23rd. It was changed later. However, we're likely to start this on May 23rd. We may make changes pending next week's discussion, but today we're asking the council for approval of the schedule. Fairly similar to what was proposed in regards to timing, anticipated spectators, and so forth as previous years. Don't know if there's any questions, any information I might be able to help fill in. Alleviate any concerns.
Are there, is there an opportunity for food trucks or any other?
So absolutely.
Roadside?
So right now, at next week's meeting, we're anticipating discussing logistics in regards to some of our nonprofit organizations, what their level of interest and engagement is in serving these events, along with where there's potential gaps, looking into alternative vendors that would produce products that are not similar to local businesses. So hopefully we can bring additional people in and patronize the downtown establishments more.
Sure. Good.
Yes.
Is there an application for the vendors, like on the village website, or?
There absolutely is. So we have the market application. It is on the DDA website. I'm not certain if that is linked on the village website, but it is in the process if it's not already. And we've been currently passing that out to individuals who are interested and also been around previous years.
And to have a booth during the farmer's market, what's the expense to that typically?
So it depends. Seasonal is $100. If they're looking at it daily, that tends to be $10 to $15. We have a sliding scale. So if there's fewer available positions, then, this may increase. So we don't get too many people that we're potentially having to turn away.
Got it.
And all of those proceeds will then go into marketing and promoting the event. So ideally, the amount of participation we get helps us in promoting what's going on.
And so clarity, this will be starting May 23rd.
That's the anticipated start date. We understand that certainly a lot of farmers' produce is not readily available. So we're tentatively looking at what the interest is. If we're not able to get enough people who are interested or who are available on that May 23rd date, we would start it a week later.
Okay. Got it.
That change of time, has that been going well?
So the change of time, it depends. It was originally promoted, or they changed the time because they're looking at a different market, more in regards to, or less on the farmer side, more, niche gadget, things of that nature. So, it would really be hard to say. This year, we're tentatively looking at evaluating how many people are participating in this event, so we can use that as a place marker for determining what will be better in future years. But we did not have metrics from the last year regarding how many people were at the establishment.
All right.
I will make a motion to approve farmer's market.
Support.
Permit.
All right, we have a motion with support. The tentative start date would be Friday, May 23rd, potentially a week later, for the use of the pavilion between 2 and 7:30 p.m. for the farmer's market. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Doug. Mr. Stolzen.
Evening, council. You got my report in front of you. Entertain any questions you may have. I've been hitting the pavement with Mr. Smith, and I've been to a lot of different meetings, asking for support of the Paul Henry Trail Bridges and that project. Getting some pretty good support. I think Irving Township is going to come back with some support after their budget meeting. Thorn Apple came back with $25,000 a year over the next 4 years, so that was very positive. And then I'm sending out a letter to some of the local businesses and stuff like that pretty soon. I've got a meeting set up probably next week or maybe the week after with Bradford White specifically for some, asking for some support there too. So, but I think it's going well. The first application has been submitted already for TAP, Transportation Alternatives Planning, and then the other MDNR will be going out in April. So.
And just on that point, it would be remiss if we didn't publicly state this. I think the township's support is certainly greatly appreciated. They actually came in committing to 10,000 and then certainly came back with a much larger number. So really just want to, again, commend Mr. Stolzenberg on his efforts to bring us together and do a little bit of a road show, but more importantly, just really want to show gratitude to the township and their partnership. And we really look forward to partnering up with them again in
Yeah.
future endeavors. So
Yeah,
that was great.
absolutely. Yep. Hopefully we can do a joint meeting with them in the near future too. So we'll see if they're open to that or not. I'll keep asking. So, all right. Any other questions? All right. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Powers, you're back.
So handful of items going on, not a ton of permits, but a few items outside of that, especially related to planning and zoning. So Baby Bliss has been ongoing discussions regarding site-specific concerns and along with next steps. Still in the process. The village parcels, we did get the information back from the surveyor that there's not a ton of buildability, so it's very likely that the best use may be maintaining is a natural public space. But we do have the information, so if, the situation changes, that the documents are readily available. 36 State Street, we did not have any updates at the time this was prepared. However, now that the developer did contact us, that he's working with his attorney to draft a simpler development agreement, because the previous one was a little over 50 pages. And that was not even considering, a lot of the, details that need to be included. So he's trying to abridge that version. They also, you may have seen it last week, they were doing soil borings on site. So there is work going on, even though a lot of it isn't coming to this board, there's still things happening. So the ordinance committee, we've had a focus, regarding potential street ordinance as well as the Land Division Act. There certainly are other areas that can be evaluated and be discussed. We'll be talking about that in a little more detail at the upcoming Planning Commission meeting. We have not had discussions regarding, the economic strategies, as I'm sure you're aware that we had our joint session last year. So there certainly are some opportunities to see where there's concerns and possible overlap. So the site plan committee, we did have that meeting on February 11th. And that they recommended approval of that site plan to go before the Planning Commission at their next meeting. There's a handful of administrative updates related to the DDA. I could go into some more details, but do you have any questions about any of these items? Just one thing I'd like to note, we included the financial overview in here, since I know there previously were, comments, questions, or concerns, related to that, but anything else I'd be more than happy to discuss.
Oh, that's where I saw it. For the market day, it said 125 a season, and then you said earlier.
So
100 a
we
season.
discussed what the numbers were. It's going to be $100.
Okay.
Yep.
Perfect. Okay. I just want to make clarification.
Yep.
All right. A lot of good forward momentum going on at the DDA, just as a comment. And this captures a lot of the good stuff that we covered, and excited about how we're approaching the Riverbank Music Series. And I think this is really going to be a great summer for sure.
No, for sure.
Perfect.
Thank you, Mr. Powers.
All right,
I
thank you.
appreciate it. Mr. Pergler, welcome.
Hi there.
How are you?
I'm live and in person just to prove that I exist. I have my list of 5 things that I'd like to present. Sorry. Snow. It was all about snow last month. I gave up trying to list out how many people I put tags and notices and knocked on the door, but many. But it's 45 degrees now when the snow's all gone. For now. I did a night run, so you can see the list there. And a couple little letters that I wrote out that are still pending. It was my month. Questions,
Fantastic.
comments, suggestions?
My only comment, and obviously the hot topic of the month is obviously snow removal. And just to make the statement, I drive down Main Street after these snow events occur, and I watch these kids trudge through that snow. It is really bad. And it's, aside from the fact that it's unsafe, it's just not, the responsibility of shoveling snow. I get it. There's a lot of circumstances out there and we have to be empathetic about that. But the concern that I have is just, there is a large swath of sidewalk that goes wholly unshoveled, and it's a regular occurrence. So, I know there's a lot of resources locally. I know the Boy Scouts are happy to assist in certain things
Senior
like that.
citizens, yeah.
And so I think there's a lot of options out there, and it would be unfortunate if the village cleared these sidewalks at the owner's expense. And that's certainly part of our ordinance, and just want to remind the public that that is an incredibly important thing to provide to our community.
Yeah, we're working on another project that I kind of talked to you about a little bit.
Sure.
Another way to directly get in touch with the primary resident of the residents, and it might be good for next year, but
For sure.
and then we can use it for a couple of different, contacting people through email and making sure that they get the, because I can only knock on so many doors and leave so many orange tags and
It's a difficult, you're in a difficult place, right?
Yeah.
There's just, it's truly, as your report states, there's just too many to list. And
And when they walk on snow, then it melts for a day or two, and then it turns into ice, which is probably even worse than walking through the snow. But
it's,
We're just wondering.
We do the best we
so
can.
In terms of who's responsible for those tickets if they're not homeowners, they're renters? Is it the landlord or just-
that way I can get a hold of the end owner and
Property owner.
and he can decide whether the tenant is supposed to do it or have it done. But, and I've done that before, numerous times. It just, if it's a renter, then I know there's one property owner that rents out properties, and it's up to the person that's living there to take care of the properties, and so. And it's up to him to make sure that it happens, because if indeed the village has to clear that sidewalk, it goes on his taxes.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
but that's the one thing we've never had to really deal with until this winter, because it's just been an incredible weird winter to deal with. So
I think it's just really, again, I think it's up to us to provide clarity. So that people truly understand what their responsibility is. And it might be an interesting amendment to just, again, provide clarity for if there is a renter, that maybe that arrangement is made in advance. I don't, obviously I don't have the answer here, but it is.
I'm open to anything.
I think that this is a discussion, regardless of whether it's snowing out or not. It's something that we really need to help define. I've been brainstorming in terms of even our downtown snow removal, that we look at boundaries as to where that exists. And then, there is a main thoroughfare that goes to the schools on Main Street. And, because of the fact that the schools can't find enough bus drivers, kids are in some cases forced to walk to school because they can't take the bus because the bus isn't available. So something that we really need to weigh and really come up with at least our position on it, and make sure that we communicate that out. But I appreciate it.
Susan, I'm open for it. Any suggestions? So.
Thank you, Bob. I
Okay.
appreciate you so much. Thank you. All right. Are we gonna, I don't see Glorimar here.
Nope. You want to do liaison reports?
Yeah, let's do the liaison reports.
We didn't have a meeting.
And I guess I'll talk on the DDA. We really just continued a lot of conversation. First of all, we were really interested in just filling the seats that we have. I think we have a really great opportunity to have a full board very, very soon. So with that, we are definitely discussing how do we leverage the resources of our community through volunteerism? How do we align with the Michigan Main Street Initiative? And obviously, I think at this stage, discussions are already underway to determine who's going to chair that board. I think we have a few ideas, but there needs to be consensus. So we will continue to have that discussion to just make that board whole and really make it fully functional. And frankly, it's a long time coming. And I continue to be really encouraged with just how we're finally aligning and really working together to reach out to all parts of the village to aim at the same target and have the same goals. So all that continues, and I'm very encouraged by where we're headed. Anyone else?
Yeah, next Tuesday, we'll be presenting the site plan approval for McDonald's on 37 to the Planning Commission, 7 o'clock. Right here.
All right. It's been a long time coming.
Gonna have a McDee's.
Yeah. And we've done a lot of surveys over the years, and every one of the surveys, one of the top wants
It's fast food.
is fast food.
Mhm.
It's kind of,
It'll probably attract another one. Where there's one, there'll be another one.
yeah, for sure.
Traffic.
Yeah.
Then we'll have to petition for a new traffic light.
Something.
Yeah.
That's definitely going to change the traffic pattern in that area, for sure. All right, any other reports? I think we got them covered. Okay, Mr. Stolzenberg.
Okay. Miss Ayala had to take care of her husband who had knee surgery recently. So that's what she's doing tonight instead of being here with you all. But you've got the fourth quarter financial report in front of you. Numbers look a little different from 2023 to 2024 at this time because we're still waiting for the 2024 audit to be completed. So once that's completed, then you'll have a fully actualized report. One note, she did ask me to mention the ARPA balance is at just a little over $100,000 left, which is all fully allocated toward the lead line replacement, of course. We're hammering those things out lately. You've probably seen the red trucks throughout town digging through and putting new lines in. And so we're doing that as often as we can right now. So probably, I don't know, 5 a week or something like that. Kim, we say, is that?
I think right now they're doing 8 and we're ready to give them another 8.
Okay.
I believe.
Yeah. So they're hammering out pretty well. So
That's really good news.
Yep.
I know that the question, sometimes it seems like when they're done, like a couple places on my walk around
Mhm.
the block, when they're done, it's a pretty flat ground, but there's one right here on Main Street. I don't know if they're not done, but there's 2 big piles of.
Yeah, there's some extra work that has to be done over
Is there more?
on the one on Main Street. Yeah. Yep. They ran into some issues as they replaced that. The line inside the house was not as solid as what we thought it was. So once they got that extra pressure, it blew that out. So they had to replace the interior line too, unfortunately. So
I don't know when we stop telling Gloria how well she's doing, because we're expecting to see the kind of reports. That was an excellent report,
As always, right?
as always.
It's
Right.
so well done.
Done a good job of promoting her.
Well, thank you. It was,
Well, it was needed.
it was a good one for sure. Yep, absolutely. I would say all my hires have been pretty good so far. You know, everybody's been pretty good. So hopefully they keep that way. Might have another one coming up. We'll see. So, any questions on the report? All right.
All right, into the classification study.
Oh.
Or am I ahead of the game? here?
Ahead of the game a little bit.
My apologies.
I don't think I've ever highlighted the United Way campaign for you all, so I wanted to do that. For those that don't know, the Berry County United Way is very unique in that all of the money that is donated to the Berry County United Way actually goes to the people that need it. All of the administrative costs for Berry County are taken care of through an endowment that was set up many years ago. So any dollars that you donate to the Berry County United Way don't go to administrative costs at all. They all go to people that are in need. So that's really, really cool. 100% of the village employees donated to the campaign this year, the 2025 campaign, which was incredible. I don't know if you want to move ahead there, Kim. I'll just kind of keep it going a little bit to the next one. Back up to education. There we go. So when you donate to United Way, it goes to 5 or 6 different core areas. One is education, helping youth achieve their full potential. One of the recipients every year, because they apply for funds, is Middleville Youth Athletics, which used to be through the Thornapple Area Parks and Rec. So they are going to receive funds this year again. And those funds go to help kids participate in baseball and softball and other youth athletics. So whereas they may not be able to, previously. So if I move ahead. Income, so addressing urgent and emerging needs. 9% of Berry County households live in poverty, and in the Alice population, Alice is asset limited, income constrained employed. So basically, people that are working, have jobs, but still have trouble paying their bills, still have trouble feeding their families and things like that. Those are the families that the United Way serves in Berry County. We'll keep moving. If I had any other notes specifically, we'll just keep going all the way to the end. I just wanted to highlight this for you all real quick. Nope, keep going. Nope, back up, sorry. One more back. Wait, hold on a second. Nope, next one, sorry. Okay.
This one?
Yep. All right, thanks. So the 2025 campaign raised this year because it's the 90th anniversary and there's a lot more advertising and stuff like that. We actually have raised over $1 million for the Berry County United Way this year. The services last year were accessed 68,000 times in Berry County alone. So there's roughly 70,000 people in Berry County. So roughly one time for every person that's living in Berry County, those opportunities were accessed this past year. So thank you for your support. Thank you for allowing me to have my staff and the folks that work with me participate and volunteer with the United Way, because it is really, really beneficial to the community. Any questions?
Yeah, that's a real eye opener. Almost a third of our population is either in poverty or on the edge of it, which is.
It's a lot.
That's a lot.
Yep.
A lot of work to be done, but you're certainly contributing to the solution. So thank you, and thank you to the United Way for sure.
Thank you.
It's a great partnership.
Thanks, Greg.
Okay, moving ahead. The classification compensation. So this classification compensation study, if you recall, Kevin, Mr. Bishop, no, you weren't here at the time, were you? Ann and Richard were on the council at the time. Was completed my first year on that I was working for the village. At the time, they recommended it be updated periodically, every 2 to 4 years. The last, before Mr. Kramer was completed, done being village president, excuse me, he recommended doing this upcoming year. I think it's probably warranted just because we have a couple new positions with Doug's new position and with the economic development coordinator position, community development coordinator position, just to make sure that they're in line. And then maybe the next time, if you approved it this time around, maybe we'd wait, 3 to 4 years for the next go round to update it again. So that is the proposal. I don't think we need to worry about including benefits in it, which would be an additional cost, just because we're really tied to the union contract for benefits anyhow. So I think we're good there. So any questions?
The last compensation study was completed in
2023. So about 2 years ago.
Our first year.
I mean, I consider this compensation study, and then just based on what you just said, that we would wait 3 to 4 years for the next one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering, do you feel like this study is going to be impactful enough? I mean, I think we've already budgeted for and have alignment with where compensation is for the staff today.
I would say for everybody, with I did my best to compare other communities for the newly created position for the community development director and community development coordinator positions. But am I fully in line? I honestly don't completely know, but I think I did my best. And I with everybody else, I think we're in pretty good alignment. We're able to get studies from the Michigan Municipal League every year, which I use for all the different positions also. But Doug's and then the newly created one are just a little bit off, so not sure about that. And then they'd be able to help with the job descriptions as well, just make sure we're in alignment. So
my biggest concern would be, are we going to spend $8,900 or up to $8,900 or $8,500 on a study that I think we've really done a lot of due diligence in the last couple of years of just normalizing salaries, making sure that our team is paid appropriately. My biggest concern is that, as our economy seems to be settling down, inflation seems to be going down as well. I know that we were really scrambling just because it was so high. We wanted to make sure that we were normalizing those salaries to compensate for that. But I wonder if we could just give it another a year, might be more appropriate.
Sure.
And again, we have a partnership with the Michigan Municipal League. They certainly provide good feedback. And frankly, you've done a great job of, when we pull data, you've done a great job of just doing like kind, which is probably not a lot different than this $8,500 is going to get us. So, and quite frankly, it's probably more localized, and we kind of have I feel like we have a better pulse on what a like kind community looks like.
Sure.
Because after looking at their original study, they were a little bit they were kind of all over the board. So I often wonder if we're not better at it than potentially they might be. And it certainly is well within our capabilities to do that. So
yeah, I think, initially it was really valuable because, our job descriptions were all over the map, the wage studies were all over the map, you know. So the initial one really did narrow things in and really, you know, did, you know, help me out a lot to make sure that we're in line with that stuff. So,
Yeah.
but I don't disagree with you on
Yeah,
that. So,
I think it might,
Yep.
I mean, my recommendation from my seat would be that we just pause this particular expenditure. Simply because you've done a great job of really organizing what was prior to the original study. It was a bit of chaos. I don't think we have that problem now. So I think we've really done a good job of getting where we need to be from the use of that original one.
Mhm.
I think I go forward, we could space this out. And if there's an economic scenario that would lead us to require a radical shift in how we're paying our team, I think
Sure.
it would be very useful. But I don't know if it's really that. I don't know if we really need it.
Okay.
In my opinion.
I'm not disagreeing. You know, this was, you know, brought forward from Mr. Kramer, and, you know, I thought I wanted to honor that for sure and see if the council wanted to continue that. So,
Sure. I mean, open for discussion for sure.
I think we did a good job of resetting, setting a framework for moving into the future, but I would think it'd be a little early to doing that all over again.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
I also agree. Plus, the question of the new job, would the new job even be on a list of that is comparable? Like, is
well,
there
that's
jobs
kind
out
of
there
what
like that?
part of the role of this person would do, would go,
So
you know, interview Doug, interview the new person, you know, what you do day to day, you know, how is it compared to other people in different communities, what they do day to day. Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Exactly.
yeah, no,
Yep.
I think we're good right now, for sure.
Ours is a little bit of a hybrid too.
It is,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So,
Let's let it.
Yep. And
see
even like
first.
some of the inter-office roles, you know, over time, they'll creep a little bit. You know, for example, Kim, you know, she's doing some work up with the DPW garage now, and she's doing some different jobs up there. So, you know, some of that stuff would start to add to a new job description, and then, you know, they compare that to other communities and things like that too.
Gotcha.
So, but, you know, right now I think we're in pretty good shape. So.
Yeah, I think so.
There's really only, you know, maybe 3 positions. It would be, you know, Kim's position, Doug's position, and then the new position that would be anything a little bit out of alignment, in my opinion, right now.
I mean, you have the framework in place,
Yes.
though, like, right? It's like,
Absolutely.
I mean, job descriptions, things like that.
Yes.
I think it really is. I think we had a huge value from the original one. I really, really do. I just don't know if I don't think we're in a place where we need that today, but
Yep.
I mean, again, open for further discussion if there's questions that can be answered. This was made prior to several of you on the board, so, and believe me, when we went for this the first time, I mean, we really, really needed it. So,
It was it was a sell by me to get you to buy into it. I'm happy you did. So
yeah.
Yep.
The outcome was,
the outcome was definitely worth it.
I was
Absolutely. Yep.
that was speculative.
Yep. And I'd be happy to share the original report with you all again too, because most of you haven't received that. So I can do that tomorrow. So.
And something I think we should share anytime we have a new role or we're approving a salary or whatever, it would be great to have that in everybody's hands, just to have it as a reference point of what we should expect from you in terms of job description, in terms of salary band, and then how you came up with that salary. And again, just doing like kind comparatives is a huge win whenever you're coming before the board for that. All right. Well, I mean, you want to
action is
strike it?
needed.
I guess, you know, I guess we could just vote on it right now.
You don't need to do
No.
that.
Yeah.
We can just have
All
no
right.
action as necessary, and I'll just communicate with Mark that, you know, give us a revised quote next year or the year after, and we'll move forward from there. So,
That'd be, all right. Appreciate that.
thank you. I think that's it for me, right?
I think so. Yeah. All right.
Good evening, council. So for any of you that may not be aware, the Planning Commission reports to the council annually. This is a review in regards to what the Planning Commission did over the previous year. For anyone that may not have been here, valuable resource because this is everything that they've done. Not sure if anyone has any comments, questions, or concerns, but this, tells you in regards to items such as training, how they align with bylaws, along with actual actions that they had taken, whether it was approval of site plans, zoning permits, what have you. In addition to this, you can also see the report from PCI that shows building permits. So a lot of those, I'm sure you're aware, do not go to the Planning Commission. That it's people getting issued permits, but it shows you, how many dollars are going towards maintenance or improvements of individual properties or businesses. I'm not sure if there's any questions or if you'd like me to go into any detail, but the Planning Commission prepared this at their last meeting on February 4th and it's being presented to you.
On my end. How about you? All right. All right. I think that'll do it. All right. Thank you. I apologize. I have to scroll.
Zoning Board of Appeals.
Oh, yes. Zoning Board of Appeals. I'm still scrolling through Mark's proposal. Oh, there's a lot going on there. Okay. I think a motion to approve the 2024 Planning Commission Annual Report is in order.
So moved.
All right.
Support.
All right. We have a motion with support to move to approve the 2024 Planning Commission Annual Report. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. And we're moving down to Downtown Development Authority appointment.
ZBA.
Or is that ZBA? I apologize.
So yes, when we were going through the records, I believe the clerk had found some inconsistencies regarding appointment dates. Not certain where those came from. And unfortunately, she's not able to be here with us today, but asking for, that's the reason as to why this is being presented to you. So we can have consistent days in regards to what the appointments are moving forward.
I see.
Try to keep them in alignment.
I got you. All right.
I will make a motion to move to extend the term of appointment of the zoning ZBA member Kathy Williamson to April 30th, 2025, and extend the term of appointment of ZBA member Eldon Newmeyer to April 30th, 2027.
Or. All right, we have a motion and support to move the extended term of the appointment of the Zoning Board of Appeals member Kathy Williamson to April 30th, 2025, and extend the term of appointment of Zoning Board of Appeals member Eldon Newmeyer to April 30th, 2027. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Powers. All right. And for the Downtown Development Authority appointment, we continue to get some great applicants. It is with great pleasure to appoint Ann Alberg to the Downtown Development Authority to fill an unexpired term, which does expire February 13th, 2028. For those of you who do not know, Ann, she was actually board chair for the DDA and is very amenable. She's very easy to work with. She's got a lot of energy and she's very excited to serve the community again. So I'd like to move to approve the appointment of Ann Alberg to the Downtown Development Authority and fill the unexpired term expiring February 13th, 2028.
Support.
We have a motion with support. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes. Very good. I'm going to the beginning again.
The last item.
There we go.
Yep, is yours.
So, my bringing this up during a board meeting today is essentially to make sure that all of you are familiar with how our village is zoned and where there are good fits for certain types of uses. We had great success across the street where we were able to put apartments on an upper level and put commercial businesses on the lower level, which falls in alignment with the intended use of the particular zone. I think with our future plans with a social district and where we are encouraging businesses to come to the downtown area and participate in that, be it a restaurant or a pub or whatever, it's important that we continue to encourage the right kind of development in the right place, and certainly do so when it's in alignment with our long-term master plan and our intended use for our zones. So I think as a great first step is just for us to get familiar with what that ordinance looks like. And please, if you need additional details, obviously Mr. Powers can certainly direct you to the right information on that and certainly fill you in on why that's an important alignment when we are encouraging businesses to come to the downtown area and spend their hard-earned money and invest in our future. But we want to obviously do so that it encourages growth across the board with all of our businesses as well. So I really would like to have us be very familiar with that, discuss that with Mr. Powers if you have any questions, and certainly he can direct you if you have any additional concerns about why it's important. But I think in order for this board, again, to just have a vision and to have a strategy and how we want to approach developing our precious asset, which is the downtown area, and make that truly a city center where people can enjoy, where it's walkable, where it encourages the right types of businesses, and be an attractor for our residents to enjoy. We really do need to place the highest priority in ensuring that those businesses and the projects that we come to the table with, be it a library or whatnot, we really do want to build a city center for people to enjoy and do so strategically. So that's really about as simple as it gets for me, and would be happy to answer any questions as to why I want to start this now. But I do believe that there are some gaps in our language, and this would be a great opportunity for us to encourage planning and zoning and whatnot to fall in alignment with what we're looking for.
Yeah, I think it's particularly important for the person that's sitting on the ZBA, because that's the first line of fire.
Right. It sure is. It sure is. It has become a question, and we don't want people to come and invest in property and then be disappointed that they're going to meet immediate resistance because it doesn't match our expectations as far as the acceptable use of a particular piece of property. So it's, I would say it's very important for us to to get ahead of this and ensure that we have the right language.
Mm-hmm.
Questions, concerns? It's the simplest point of the night. No action required. All right. You'll find it in the online packet or the packet that some of you may or may not have in front of you. There's boards and commissions, informational items, correspondence, DDA revenue and expenditures report. Opening it up for public comment. Hearing none. Final council comments. We'll start at your end today.
Oh, I'm good.
Mr. Bishop.
I am good for now.
Uh-oh.
That's good.
I'm also good.
All right,
Okay.
good. John?
I don't think I was online the Michigan MML Winter Summit this weekend. And I talked to Greg this afternoon. There was one of the things that really kind of hit me. They talked about priority-based budgeting. And what I liked about it was they had access to information how to do things better. They have a database of tons of other cities. It's like you have a problem, heck, with it's cleaning the streets or maybe snow, maybe, the database. So we're going to try to work on that a little more, but it really intrigued me. So, and looking forward to possibly the spring summit, Bay City too, so.
Nice,
Some good opportunities out there. Yep.
for sure.
Educational opportunities.
Always be learning. Mac doesn't have anything to say.
No.
I guess my only commentary would be really on the work that Mr. Stolzenberg has done in the last several days, business days. I think, it's one thing to post about removal and, the spring cleaning event is a big deal. We're one of the very few communities that actually still do that. In any capacity, by the way. It's not just the door-to-door that we've had for many, many, many years. I think it really needs to be stated that this was not a decision that we sat in a room and said, let's take away roadside pickup of your spring cleaning items. It really was who's going to do it. Republic no longer has the rear loading trucks. They have phased them out in lieu of having these trucks with robotic arms. If obviously, they come and grab your garbage and throw it over the back of the truck and load garbage that way. There's clearly a lot of danger when you have people riding on those open-ended vehicles. They've had a lot of safety issues and a lot of employees get injured as the result of those particular trucks. So they've made an effort to phase them out. After the announcement of our centralized trash pickup, it certainly spurred a lot of conversation and on social media et al. So it is not beyond, I truly believe it's not beyond this board. This was a decision when we renewed Republic's contract. They made mention of that there were going to potentially be changes. They didn't commit to them at the time of the renewal, but they have doubled down on that and are no longer offering street side pickup of trash.
For the spring cleanup.
For the spring cleanup.
Yes.
Yeah. To be clear.
Is that right?
Yeah.
When they were here,
They were ambiguous about it. They committed to the spring cleanup pickup, but they
Right.
were concerned that the street side going door to door was going to be a challenge, mainly because of
Equipment.
the equipment. So just to be clear, I did have Mr. Stolzenberg go back and get on the phone, get on the listserv, talk to other communities, talk to other waste management companies. And really, I mean, we have spent the last 2 days having discussions about trash pickup for spring cleaning. Waste management is phasing out rear load trucks as well. So they're not inclined to do it. Granger flat out declined to do it. And Jim's doesn't have the capacity to do it. I can go down the list. I mean, we've really, truly done our due diligence to make sure that this issue was taken care of, and that everyone was well informed. I think from the village perspective, and I'll certainly take ownership of that, we should have communicated that long in advance before we posted the change. It's a bit of a rip the Band-Aid off moment, but we are certainly willing to show the results of our research, and we did our due diligence to try to preserve it. But it just simply isn't being done in other communities. And in many communities, they don't even do spring trash pickup. And they're communities of our size. They just simply don't offer it. So I really do appreciate Craig's work on this. It was a bit of a last mile task, but I think the public deserves that information. And I wish that we would have done that before announcing the method that we're employing this year. I think it's a great opportunity for our community to come together. And if there's people that are in need, that need heavy items transported down, it might be a great opportunity to help work with your neighbor and help those in need if it's possible. So,
Do you know, is the size of the container they're gonna put out there?
They're going to
What
put
size it is?
several 40-yard containers out there.
Because I know Cider Mill does that, has been doing it the same way. Their
Yep.
spring clean is a container. And I know people live there. The problem they have, they bring in a 10, 12-foot tall, and then get mad because people just leave couches,
Yeah.
you know.
So
around
we're
the-
going to have
Right.
some of our employees, public works employees, there at the day of to help assist people in getting loaded that stuff into the containers. Then Republic's going to haul them out as soon as they get full and haul them to the.
Okay.
So they're going to have rotating.
So it's still gonna be manned?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
'Cause
No, we're
Cider's
not just going to leave it
Cider's
there.
not.
No,
They
no,
come
we're not
back.
just going to leave them there so people just drop their stuff.
Yeah, we don't do that.
No.
You can see them in the ditch somewhere, or
Yeah.
somebody's TV,
Yeah.
or couch, or mattress, or some darn thing.
Just a thought, if we're changing some things on that, what about
bless you.
any recycling that can be brought to Padnos? I mean, if we're gonna bring the stuff down anyway, if it's something that could be recycled, we can make some money at it, to get paid for it, and it could be money for the village, depending on, you know.
We can look at expanding the, and I can talk to Padnos and see if they'd be interested in having something there too, if it
If
makes.
you got appliances coming in, I mean, they go by weight.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
It is, it's interesting in the many, many years that I've placed things out by the road. I think we should look at this a couple of different ways. I am sorely going to miss having the ability to just take things out to the curb. But what I'm not going to miss is literally the string of mufflerless vehicles that drive down the road in a constant stream looking for things to recycle.
That's trash.
I can truly say it will reduce the traffic for people that may not even live in this village that are going around and picking things up. And obviously it's set out for a reason, but that has always been an opportunity for people who do recycle that type of thing. But it's also going to reduce traffic on our roads, which could be considered a nuisance as well. So I think, in the spirit of ensuring that we still have the spring cleanup and we want to encourage participation, DPW is gonna be available to help people out. And I think, you know, if it's a success in its current form, we certainly can refine it and make it, and do a really good job of doing it as well, you know, in adding services or whatever we need to do for recycling. So with that, that is really my long winded closing statement. And with that, is there any other father-daughter dance or anything that we can do in the spirit of Mr. Kramer? I always liked his closes.
Just to remind council, next week is a joint meeting between the Planning Commission, Council, and DDA. Technically starting at 6, but the DDA meeting starts at 5:30, and the Planning Commission starts at 7 with the joint meeting next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday.
Joint meeting sandwiched in between there. So,
Okay. All right. With that, I believe a motion is in order.
I move that we adjourn.
Support.
We have a motion with support. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
thanks for being here tonight. Yeah.